Hey, what's up? This is Matt Dietz, and this is Agency Launch. This is the show where I talk about running an insurance agency. I talk about sales and marketing strategies for insurance agents. I talk about staffing for insurance agents. I talk about retention and customer service for insurance agents. One of the most popular questions that I get right now is, "Hey, Matt, I know I'm supposed to quote a certain amount of people every day. How do I find people to quote?" Well, if you text me right now to 208-213-8809, I have an asset pulled directly from my masterclass that I'm giving out for free. Text me 20 policies to 208-213-8809, and I will show you how to write 20 policies this week. On with the show. What's up? All right, today I wanted to talk a little bit about generating leads. And I have some loose thoughts and we'll see how they come out. I see a lot of activity in a lot of the forums that I'm in and the agents that I talk to, about how they get leads. Lead generation is something that agents struggle with, right? And a lot of it is because they haven't learned how to do it yet. It's like, how do you get business? Like anything, whenever you start a business, you might be great at one thing. You might be great at sales. You might build the best widget, but marketing and sales are very compartmentalized traits. All right. You might be great at sales, but do you have people to sell to? Okay. Our industry is interesting because I think you are being taught things that aren't the easiest way to go do it. I'm learning that I know that there are many ways that you can build an agency. All right. I talked to an agent last week who is building his agency with internet leads. You know how I feel about internet leads. He has built a machine. He's got people. He's got the scripts. He's got people that are calling, and he's doing great. And I asked him. I said, what's your closing ratio? He goes, well, 6%. I go, okay. So I talked to him a little bit and challenged him a little bit to see, what if you got in front of a different population of people that would increase that closing ratio, like referrals, right? Asking for people's business, getting in conversations with people sooner, than the long chase of the internet lead. And he was comfortable with what he's built, and that's fine. He's building an agency of price shoppers, okay, but he's writing enough that if his retention is a little bit lower because he's building an agency of price shoppers right now, he's at a point where he's writing enough that it doesn't even face him when they're going out the back door, and that's a good place to be. But the bigger you get, the more you lose, right? So if you have 1,000 policies and your retention is 80%, you're going to lose 200 policies, right, in a year. You only have to write 200 to break even. If you have 3,000 policies in force and you lose 20%, you're going to lose 600 policies and you have to write more. So how can you increase your closing ratio and your retention? And how can you quote more qualified people? And there's a direct correlation between what seems like an easy way to get business. A lot of people come in here and they're like, you buy leads, live transfers, leads, live transfers, leads, live transfers. But it's a machine. You have to really build the machine to do that. Okay. And it's expensive and it takes time and the chase is long. Okay. So there's a way to do it. And some people, maybe they're more introverted and they don't like to go out and market face to face or ask people for their business. And maybe it's the best way to do it for them. But I would challenge you to say, what if you cut your lead cost in half and increase your closing ratio? You're saving money every month. I didn't ask him what his budget was. I actually talked to a DM last week too, who said that there's a mega agency in the state she works in. She has 15 or 16 people working for her, and she spends $25,000 a month on leads. $300,000 a month, a year on leads. And I can't even fathom that. But she's doing it. And who am I to say that that's wrong? She's doing great. Okay. But that is a very different business than mine. All right. And it's not one that I'm interested in building. I hate that kind of chase. I don't want to be in my office. I don't want to teach my people to cold call. I just don't want to do that. So while there may be what seems like might be an easy way to do business by buying leads and working on your computer all day and setting up systems and doing automations and building your tech products and getting your texting and your email drip campaigns and your phone calls and your dialers, the amount of money that gets spent on all of that stuff, plus the payroll, plus the leads, it's an expensive way to do it. It's just not the way that I want to do it. What I challenge you to think of is like, what's a better way to spend your time and spend your money? Okay, so what if you went out and you went to an event and you raffled something off and you got 50 leads from people that you talked to? You spent an hour, 8 hours in an event, and let's say you talked to 50 people, you got to know their name, you shook their hand, you asked them if you could quote their business, you get their information. What's the likelihood, what's your closing ratio going to be there on those 50 leads versus 50 internet leads? All right, it's going to be better, I promise you. Okay, but do you have it inside you to stand out and be exposed and try and earn people's business that way? What if you went to a chamber event or a business building event and you were surrounded by 100 people that were all marketing with each other? All right, do you have the stones to go up and talk to people and ask them for their business? Could you leave that room with 10 people to quote in 1 hour? Is that a good way to spend your time? I think it is. It didn't cost you anything but an hour of your time, maybe 2 hours with travel time, okay? But you're gonna walk out of there with 10 people that you talk to, and you're going to be able to quote and earn their business. You're gonna earn a tiny bit of trust because they met you, they saw you, in and out in public, and you have a chance to make an impression, okay? You have a chance to get to know about them. And so that's just the way I've done business. So the question is, like, if you're going to spend thousands of dollars a month on leads and pay people to work those, what if you paid your employees to build referral networks and do it on their own? You'd save all the money that you're buying on internet leads for starters, and they can build their own pipeline by going out and asking people for their business. All right, working with mortgage brokers, you could do events, you could get involved in your community, and you could ask people for their business. These are very different skill sets. All right, and if you can find something that thrives in that, you're in really good shape. If you thrive in that way and you can teach it, that's the best way to scale. Okay, so do you want, and you could do both. Okay, you could do some internet leads and you could do some outside, but you're going to close more business. You're going to close more business if you're seeing people face to face. The volume of opportunity you get by buying internet leads may seem bigger, but your closing ratios, I think the volume of work that you're going to be doing is going to be greater. I think it's greater, and depending on where you are from a pricing standpoint, like that may play a role in what you want to do too. Like if you are more competitive right now in commercial, getting embedded in your business community is the best way to go. All right. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of get this in front of you. This is the way that I think. I see people complaining a lot about how hard it is to build a pipeline, and I'm buying all these leads, and it's hard to get these businesses, and no one answers their phones, and I don't know. I think it's substantially more work than what you're told it is when you start. And you probably understand what I'm saying, all right? And I think joy and fun is a part of what we should be doing, all right? And is that fun for you? And if it's fun and you're killing it, keep going. Do it. Do what works for you. But if it's a slog and it's a drag and you have unhappy people and it's just frustrating, like, mix it up, all right? Go try some new things and try them for 30 days, 90 days. Build your own pipeline, right? Don't pay someone else. Don't pay someone else to do it. That's my thought. I know there are some purists that think internet leads are the way to go, and that's great. Do you, all right? But I think for the masses, the internet lead is a tough machine to build, and it's more work than I think it's worth. But so there you go. My name's Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. You can connect with me on Instagram and Twitter at Deeds Agency. And don't forget to send me a text at 208-213-8809. Thank you so much for listening, and keep up the good work.